Hello, hello! My name is Callista, and welcome back to the Roottrees Are Dead. In the last episode, we completed the family tree. We solved the final mystery. Who is EC? Well, we now know that answer. I'm still a little bit in shock. That Elias and Gwyneth had identical twins and decided to call them Edward Clancy and Clancy Edward. It's messy. It's messy. Now, we aren't going to be starting Roottrees Mania today. We are going to jump back into the main game because, as we saw during Sam's little recap, was that door always open? Whatever. During Sam's little recap, she brought up evidence that I missed. And, no, I can't let that stand. I need to find it. So, I wrote it down. I made some notes. First things first. I've been told I have to look this up. Beef Baby. Okay. Beef Baby is a song by the Floozes. You can't actually find anything else about it anywhere, but with a name like that, it's hard not to speculate on the subject matter, isn't it? Could it be a euphemism? Or about a newborn cow? Oh, Beef Baby. It's a newborn cow. Or about a newborn cow. Perhaps the Floosies are holding a grudge against a toddler. It certainly piques your curiosity. If only you had the time or resources to look into it further. I will, in Roottrees Mania. I hope it's about a grudge against a toddler. Please, I just want to listen to a song that's like, oh, I fucking hate my little cousin. Yeah, he's 2, I don't care, I hate him. Like, please, I would love that. Okay, now onto actual evidence here. So in periodicals, we want Business Watch. I don't believe, so it seems we had pages for both Ernest Madsen Jr. and Ernie. I don't think I looked up either of them. I might have looked up Ernest. Let's just double check that. There's no wrong with double checking. Okay. An article from 1982 announces that an Ernest Madsen Jr. is taking over the day-to-day operations of Roottrees after the previous president died Okay, so this is sounding familiar. Little is known about Ernest, but sources close to the family, who have asked to remain anonymous, have made it clear that he is more than qualified. There are rumours that Ernest had originally trained to succeed Zach Morden, but had been passed up for unspecified reasons, because apparently a lot of the people in the family are dicks. That's why he got passed over. Because oh yeah, this guy's been learning from Zach. Should we give it to him, or should we give it to the playboy who did adverts as a kid? And it doesn't seem like he did any kind of research, considering he came up with, the batter up bar, good in theory, but when it's left for a wee while, as candy often is, it becomes goop. And fancy flavours, caviar flavour, because that's what the poor people want. The plebs want fish eggs, dadoy. I'm a man of the people. Yeah, sure you are, guy. Sure you are, of course. Should we give it to the guy who's been training under Zach, or should we give it to that guy? We'll give it to that guy. Give it to that guy who thinks poor people want caviar. Yeah, perfect business sense. God damn. Business Watch also managed to get a quote from the company's publicist. The last 4 years at Roottrees have been rough. In an attempt to keep our products relevant to the modern audiences, some of our decisions have had unintended consequences. From the fancy flavours misstep to the batter up bar, We've taken a bit of a tumble in the public eye, but Mr. Madsen is committed to getting back to basics, and apparently he did just that. So, Ernie. Yes. Oh, yeah, he had heart illness. Oh, and he was earning, what did Sam say? He was earning $36 a year? Something insane like that. Oh my God. It really does give you an idea of who Ernie was as a person. Because Sam and her kids aren't a part of the Clancy Trust. They don't have those trust funds. But they're still held to this whole, you can only earn as much as the price of a candy bar. Whatever that was. The fact that Ernie must have gone into this knowing damn well that that's all he'd earn, because he was training under Zach. Zach was held to that same standard. Zach was earning, inflation, probably $20 a year. Oh wait, would that be the other way round? Fuck, I don't know. I don't know how money works. I don't understand inflation. Don't ask me things like that. Where was I? But yeah, Zach will have been held to the same standard. He was earning pennies, but he had the trust fund to back it up, to dip into. So Ernie knew damn well, I'm not going to be earning much of a wage, but he still took that position. That tells you Ernie loved this company. Ernie loved the company. He loved his family. He wanted to do them proud. And it screwed him, because again, this is in America. You have to pay for healthcare over there. Ernie Jr., he seems like a top bloke. He seemed like a top bloke. You find an article from December 1995. Root, president to take over Roottrees. Oh, Root president to take over Roottrees. Due to heart illness, Ernie Jr. is stepping down as president of Roottrees at the start of the second quarter in 1996. His second cousin, president of sister company Root and former Watchman of the Year, will take over. It has been 13 years since Ernie was forced to step into the role of president unexpectedly. Back then, not much was known about the man other than his full name. In the years since, he's taken on a bit of a reputation as a real-life wonker. He's known as a bit eccentric and reclusive, opting to be called simply Ernie Jr. and to forego the typical luxuries of the average Rootie. Yeah, because he can't afford them. He can't afford them. But in our estimation, he has been a shrewd businessman with an eye for sweets. Ernie Jr. has led Roottrees to record profits by developing new products, including the ever-popular Maple Crisps, and by spearheading the formation of Root with his cousin in 1982 after learning of Brenda Roottrees' power in the fashion community. Ernie Jr. was a top bloke. He could have done something else where he would earn a livable wage, and instead he was like, no, I am business-minded. I know damn well that I can save this company after the mess that Guy made of it. I want to do this. I want to save this company, even though it will screw me over financially. Ernie Jr. was a good man. He was a good man. And I am distressed. I am distressed at how he was treated. At least Carl. Where is it? Yeah, there we go. At least Carl treated Ernie Jr. right. Sending him money for medical expenses. Good on you, Carl. Carl seems like a top bloke and all. Carl seems right. Now, I feel like I probably did look up Guy Hudson, but just in case. Just in case. Oh, there we go. That's why. Hudson. Yeah, we looked up this. We looked up this. Okay, now this is the interesting one. This, in my opinion, is the interesting one. Because this is all to do with Patricia. I'm not even sure. Here's the thing. I want to see how I would get to this. So it's a book, Steamy Correspondence by Tina Angelina. How would I even get to this? Let's see. Patricia. How do you spell your surname, Patricia? How are you spelling your surname? Where are you? There we go. Christensen. Christ N. Sen. I can remember that. No. Christ N. Sen. Okay. Ah, that's how we would have found it. Okay. Christensen Steel was a steel company in Butler County. On a World War II history page, you find that it contributed to the war effort by creating parts for vehicles, but after that went out of business. Christensen Steel and Patricia Christensen are both mentioned in a book review for Steamy Correspondence by Tina Angelina. One second, I wanna... Anything else on the company? Okay, no. So yeah, but that's how we would have gotten the name. Actually, yeah, it'll still be there. So we want, okay. Bring it back. Game. There we go. Copy. There we go. By Tina Angelina. This is a book of historical letters with an erotic twist. Each letter is accompanied by context from the book's author. A letter from the book has been added to your pages. Now, here's my thought. Is Tina Angelina... Ooh. I want to know if Tina Angelina was Patsy. Could it have been Elias Jr.? In 1934, someone who goes by Patch wrote a letter full of innuendo to an unknown gentleman who it is clear she had a romantic history with. Patch is thought by the book's author to have been Patricia Christensen, a daughter of the owner of Christensen Steel. Her nickname was Pat, and CH were the first two letters of her last name, and Patricia Christensen was known to appreciate wordplay like this. Patricia, who would have been in her mid-20s when the letter was written, was married to an older man of no notable status. This letter was most definitely not to him. There are also a few passages, after the steamy bits, that mention a daughter, leading Tina Angelina to theorise that this letter was written to the father of a child she hid away from society in some way. The letter ends on a mention of a twisted twin that seems to evoke imagery from classic literature. He wasn't twisted, he was just gay. He was... Again, I understand time, context. This would have been seen as being, absolutely horrific, so scandalous. Obviously, today, he's gay, so what? At least that should be the reaction, just like a shrug, I don't care. Either an I don't care or good for you for coming out, but you would hope that would be the modern day reaction and not, oh my god, you're twisted, oh, I faint, pass me my fainting couch, I need to faint, oh, obviously this is time period specific, but I have very limited patience. I have very limited patience for these people. If not for her story, yours and mine would be the most tragic tale ever told. How awful it is that such beauty was ripped from its rightful fate and worse, sent to live in possession of your brother's twisted Okay, Patricia, I'm fine. I'm fine. So this, in this very flowery language, oh, if it wasn't for our kid, our story would be the most tragic story in human history. It's really not. It's really, like, it's sad. It's sad what happened to Patricia and Elias Jr. You know, they were teenage sweethearts, and their parents got involved and said, not today, and she ended up being married off to someone else. However, again, this is the issue I have with Lauren. They're incredibly privileged, and they don't seem to understand that. Because I'm certain there are other stories of, like, I was born into abject poverty, and then my uncle did inappropriate things to me, and then my father did inappropriate things to me, and then my mother watched while my father did inappropriate things to me, and then all my brothers and sisters got in on it, and then I was being pimped out to all of Ohio. Like, I would argue that is more tragic. Personally, I would argue that is way more tragic, but no, Patricia. No, Patricia. You and Elias Jr., but for your daughter, would have the most tragic tale ever told. Yes, Patricia, of course. Left an outcast, forced to a life of labor under a wicked relative. It's like something from the start of a children's fable. Again, she's being raised by technically her uncle, but now her adopted father, who loves her immensely alongside his long-term partner, and she gets to live a life where she is happy and fulfilled, you know, working the farm. Lots of people find a lot of joy in manual labor. Like, yes, it's hard and at times backbreaking, but you're out in the fresh air. You're doing something where you can visually see, like, okay, I did this, and then X, Y, and Z happened. Like, I get to see the fruits of my labor happening before my very eyes. I'm not sat somewhere going like, okay, I did this, but I don't know if it had any kind of meaningful effect. Like, no, she gets to see that. She gets to see that firsthand. But no, clearly she's suffering. Clearly she must hate it because she's not living in the lap of luxury. She deserves not the life he has been sentenced to. I can't stand to be apart from you both. Someday I shall return to you, and I pray that he... I'm fine. I'm fine. Someday I shall return to you, and I pray that he has not corrupted her to know his sins. I swear, on that joyous day, with all of the strength I can muster, I will fight for our child's freedom. Let us pray her fable has a happy ending. Tina has no theory for what the more cryptic parts of that mean. So I assume Tina is probably someone who just found the letters somehow. We learned before that Christensen Steel went under. Maybe they were left in the factory, like hidden away someplace, because no one's gonna think, oh, where would my daughter be hiding her love letters? Oh, in the factory, clearly. Like, no one would think that. But either way, I don't think Tina Angelina is of any real consequence. Unless, do we have a TA on the board? Probably not anyone from there. TA. Off the top of my head, I don't think we do, but I think I'd rather check just to be safe. Then we've got Mordens, Hudsons. Yeah, I don't think it's anyone on this list. Yeah, okay, so I don't think it's anyone in the family. I think she's just a randomer that found the letters somehow. Again, this is so incredibly privileged. This is so incredibly privileged. And so self-centered again. Again, this is all about her feelings. You've given up this child for adoption, and as luck would have it, Sam was adopted by a very loving couple, and she had a life that she loved. She grew up knowing that she was loved. She grew up knowing that she was loved, and that's something that some kids who live with their bio parents don't even get. But Sam grew up loved. And yet, Patricia, it's all about how... I think she feels guilty. Ultimately, I think that's what's going on here. I think she feels guilty. That she had to give up her kid for adoption with someone that she considers a threat. Someday I shall return to you, and I pray that he has not corrupted her to know his sin, because if my daughter turns out to be a lesbian, dear God, the horror. Oh. Being raised by gay parents does not increase your risk of being gay yourself. Just like being raised by straight parents doesn't increase the chances that the kid is going to be straight. They're just born that way. If Sam was a lesbian, then she was going to be a lesbian even if you two raised her. It's fine. It's, again, different times. Different times. It's still stupid, but different times. I just... Let us pray her fable has a happy ending. And it's so deliciously ironic. Again, I keep wanting to go between Patricia and Patsy, because I know that's who she was introduced to. That was the name she went by when she was reintroduced to the family, Patsy. Her viewpoint is so purely her own. Her family was rich, and so she's been raised in the lap of luxury. And the idea of, having to do hard graft is horrific. It's tragic. It's the most tragic tale ever told. Yes, being raised by loving adoptive parents and having a job that you really enjoy. Oh yeah, that's really tragic. It shows how little Patsy actually kept up with her kid. That shows how little Patsy actually knew about Sam. Because if she even took the most basic of interest, she would have known, oh shit, she's happy. She's happy and fulfilled. But clearly you never had a conversation with Sam. You can sit there and be like, oh, my child. You clearly never interacted with her. Because you would know this is crap. If you actually took an interest. But no, I won't take an interest. I'll just pine for what could have been, and I'll make up this story about how she's miserable and how the guy raising her is evil. And one day when I find the strength, I will fight for our child's freedom. Let us pray her fable has a happy ending. The reason why I say this is deliciously ironic, your pushing is what caused her unhappiness. Sam was happy. Sam was happy and loved and cherished. And then you and Gwyneth pushed for the truth to come out. Because your guilt and desire for this happy family superseded Sam's actual happiness. Gwyneth, I think, potentially had more innocent motivations because she was the grandmother. She was the grandmother, and it's clear that she wanted to involve Sam before all of this. She was involving her in little ways. I think Gwyneth just had the view of like, I want to be in my grandkid's life. Even if they don't know that they're my grandkid, I want to be in their life. And I want them to be included in the family, even if I can never verbally express that. It was still wrong. What happened to Sam and EC was still wrong, but I do think that Gwyneth had more innocent motivations. Patsy, though, I think it's selfishness. You've built up this life in your head, and you don't care to see whether or not what you're imagining is in any way, shape. You don't actually want to see if it's close to the truth. You've just decided. And you're going to push for that dream, even if it makes your kid really unhappy, even if it destroys their entire life. You don't care because you feel guilty. You want your family united. And I've decided that she's unhappy. I'm not actually going to ask her. I'm not going to talk to her about it. I have decided she is unhappy. We don't know about Sam's relationship with Patsy, but I hope that Patsy got exactly what she deserved. That's how I'm gonna word that. I hope she got exactly what she deserved. And I know, I would imagine there will be people saying, Callista, why aren't you being more sympathetic towards her? She and Elias, they were in love, teenage pregnancy, and then, they were separated. She was married to a much older man, and the baby was ripped away from them. Like, yeah, I have sympathy for that. That was a terrible situation. That shouldn't have happened. That shouldn't have happened. But again, it's what you did afterwards. It's what you did as grown-ass adults. What you did as grown-ass adults was destroy your child's life because you felt guilty. You felt bad. You wanted something. That I have no sympathy for. Because you were both grown, you knew better, or at least you should have known better. You had what could have been your life ripped away from you. You shouldn't want to do the exact same thing to your own kid, but that is exactly what they did. In the same way that Elias and Gwyneth and whoever her parents were, in the same way that they ripped Elias Jr. and Patsy's lives away, Elias Jr. and Patsy did the exact same thing with their kid. They were happy. They were happy and building a family. No, we are your parents and we say that we will not allow this. Oh, Sam, you're building a life? You have a family? No, we are your parents. We say that we will not allow this. That's why I have no sympathy for her. I have sympathy for what happened to her when she was a kid, when she was a teenager. I have no sympathy for what she did as an adult. You feel guilty? Tough shit. Sit with your guilt. Sit with your guilt. There is nothing wrong. When you've done something bad, then there is no issue with sitting with your guilt. And I really hope that when Sam learned that these were her parents, I sincerely hope she had nothing to do with them. I sincerely hope that she said, hell no, you're not my parents. These are my parents. These two people who stepped up and loved me and raised me and cherished me, they are my dads. Screw the pair of yous. I sincerely hope that Patsy and Elias Jr. got everything they deserved. Screw the pair of you. I'm sorry for what happened to you as teenagers, but for ruining your daughter's life in the way that you did. For upending it. And making her question everything. Screw the pair of you. Well, I look at my timer, I only have a minute left. And to be honest, I actually looked up everything that I wanted to. I think I've also said everything that I wanted to. Oh, no, actually, I tell a lie. There was something I noticed that wasn't brought up. I think it was in revisiting the diary. There we go. Yeah. We even got Edward Clancy's name being dropped. But obviously you just think, oh, it's as she says, they got her father's name back. Who names identical twins? Edward Clancy and Clancy Edward. Who does that? Who does that? I disagree. I disagree with that. But whatever. And with that, we will bring our Let's Play of The Roottrees Are Dead to a close. In the next episode, we make a start on Roottree Mania. But until then, please remember to like if you enjoyed, leave a comment below, and if you wanted to subscribe, it would be very much appreciated. A special thanks to my channel members, such as SM2K, Christopher K. Davis, CGG, and Kevin Bicknell. I've been Callista. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next episode.